Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Wednesday, July the 21st. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Good trading is repetitive. So is bad. Part 3. And part 3, just like parts 1 and 2 and all the other videos, are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. So, I was talking about certain trades and how they're repetitive, horizontal line trades. Now, if you've been watching my videos, let's say for the past couple of months or more, I talk about when on the pound dollar, when price gets between the 40 and the 50, in this case 136 40 and 136.50, I call that the launch pad, because based on observation, price likes to take off from that level. And as you can see here on the 5-minute chart, price crossed the 40, dropped below, crossed it again, then it crossed it and it launched, and it launched up to the 60 and beyond. So this is something that's repetitive. Now, looking at the chart here, you can see here it crossed above but didn't close above, and then it dropped. So what's the key? You see a cross above, close below, a cross above, and a close above. And once again, those are the types of things that you pick up from seat time, from practice, from actually trading and paying attention to what's going on and watching. Now, you could say, well, you could say that about any line. Well, not necessarily. It's just something I noticed. And if you go back over the charts, and all you have to do is just stick up the sweet spots gold indicator that I modified, and it'll draw, plot these horizontal lines. And in fact, that just gave me an idea. Maybe I should have put something in there where you could highlight these lines, but that's just more work for me. But anyway, and so you'll see this type of pattern out of the 40 area, not so much out of the other areas. And so if you look at, say, the 1-hour chart, you can see it kind of clear here again. 40, and it had that big move. 40 had that big move. Let's see, can we find can we find any other opportunities? I guess what I can do here is go to properties, and instead of have auto scroll, I can turn that off. And then we can just move the... Hey, wait, did I not turn auto scroll off? Now we can do it. So we can look here at some of the other 40 areas and see what happened. So you can see here's 138. Right there, 40, you can see once again, it launched on the 1-hour chart. Come back over, it launched. Come over here, it launched. Come over here, it didn't really launch like it normally does, but you can see it did go once again from about the 40 level up to the 60. And like I said, it's just something I observed just by trading it. And so that's one of the things that when it gets in those areas, I look for, the certain pattern to repeat. And so my trading is repetitive. And it's just one of these things that's not that difficult. It's just a matter of waiting. And does it work each and every time? No, but it works more times than not. I mean, right here we had price jump up, and there was at least 10 pips to be made if you entered at the 40 line. But if you didn't take it, as you can see, the market took it back, but it gave you a second opportunity. So right here, you could have had a 10 bagger and a 20 bagger. And those of you who want to call Harry hindsight, go right ahead. But the fact of the matter is, do this on a regular recurring basis. So it's the type of thing that I can tell you ahead of time, look for price to have this type of reaction around the 40 level. Why that happens, I don't know. Perhaps there's a automated system out there, some robot or something that's programmed to do that. And what I've noticed is a lot of times if price is going the other way, it'll hit that 40 and it'll come all the way down almost to the 60, and then it'll return the other way. So I look for those prices from 40 to 60 on the north side, and then from 40 down to 60 to the south side. And once again, it might not go the entire distance, but if you were short at 40 here, I don't think you'd be upset to be exiting out at the 80. So you basically have to trade what you see in the moment. And having these little trades, these little things that you can repeat, can be profitable. On the other hand, if you're making mistakes or you're having losses, you have to track what you're doing and see what can you eliminate to be profitable. Because sometimes the key isn't adding something, the key is taking something away. It's like water. Yeah, as a prepper, I do prepper presentations, and I always, when somebody asks about water, I go, well, water in its simplest form is H2O. So if water's contaminated, you don't want to add anything to it. You want to remove the contaminants. You want to filter them out and boil them out. Distill the water so you can go back to the H2O. And so the same things with your trading. If somehow there's something that's contaminating your trading, so instead of having profit, you have loss, look to see what you're going to need to filter out. So for example, if you're have problems waiting for the signals, and you're constantly jumping in and out of signals, well, maybe you need to move up a time frame or two, because that way you won't get as many signals, so you won't be as jumpy. And I think I pointed that out. Using the 1 hour chart, you can look at the buy zone here. We took out the pivot point because it was actually below the buy zone here. It was really close to the open. And actually, let's see, let's just go back through some of these charts here that we normally look at, because we want to look for repetition, breaking out of a previous low. In this case, it's on the monthly chart, break out of that previous low. We can look at a weekly chart, break out of the previous week's low. Something, once again, it's repetitive. It's boring. You don't really have to do any analyzing. You just have to wait for price to get there. And technically, you don't even have to wait for price to get there. You can have a pending order with a stop loss and a TP, put it and walk away, set and forget, and then you see. It's kind of like trapping versus hunting. And I've talked about that decades ago, or maybe a decade ago. It's probably one of my videos where, trappers usually eat and hunters not so much, because you just want to trap price, at a certain level. And then, in this case, you'd probably be looking to go short because it's the breaking out of the low versus going long because it's breaking out of the high. And you just take the trade. Maybe you're only looking for 10 pips. Maybe you're looking for more, but you get in a trade and you see what happens. In the gap fill. Well, we open gap fill. Still one pair hasn't filled. You know, if you wanted to fade the pivot, not much happened there yet. You know, once again, looking at the daily, look at the yearly open. We actually closed below the yearly open yesterday. We moved back down, then we screamed back above it, up 46 pips above the open at the point. At the moment, once again, a simple trade, repetitive. You know, yearly open, when it happens. The monthly open, when it happens. And the previous month's open, possibly. The weekly open. The daily open. You just wait for price to crisscross these levels because you know price has to move away from the open almost by a certain amount, and then it might move back towards it. And you know, we talk about rat zone trades, weekly rat, monthly rat. We'll get to that in a moment. Well, here once again we're above the weekly open now, 48 pips, 49 pips. You know, and looking here, we're year is now up, the day is up, the week is down, the month is down. So we got a mixed bag right there. The inside bar trades. Monthly inside bar, I called it out earlier in the week, right? And you can see here we penetrated it once, twice. Now we came back, we're back in that inside bar level. Range, got a bunch of pairs over 100 once again. Pound clocking in at 106. See, we broke the previous day's high once. And once again, looking at the buy zone here. Rat zone, you know, as I mentioned, I think it was last week or a couple days ago, I don't remember which one, but if you're making mistakes, if you're winding up and losing trades, you're taking a lot of trades, slow yourself down by moving up to maybe the H1. And in this case right here, I don't think we had enough range. Well, let me just see from here. Actually, we did have enough range. That was 50 pips. So H1 turned green. It moved up, so from open to high was about 12 pips. There was a chance to take a profit. You see price came back down. Here, open to high on this one was about 36 pips. Nice profit. Did it again. And here, you know, open to high, if you just punched out at the end, it was 15 pips, but you see what's happened since then. Now, it's time for the red rats. So you just wait, and if this candle goes to the red, then you might want to short. We've got the range is large enough. And we had looked at the pivot before. And you see here we took out today's pivot, but we still haven't taken out yesterday's or the day before. And so how many times? 3 consecutive misses, only 2. So when price opened here and then moved down, I don't remember if it hit the pivot first or not. I guess I'd have to go back to the... Yeah, it had already taken out the pivot. So once it took out that pivot, it's like, okay, chances are it's not going to have 3 days in a row. So I'd be looking to see if these 2 pivots get taken out maybe this week or maybe by the end of the month. But I'd be looking to see these 2 pivots, at least this one, to get taken out. Wick zones in and out, once again, repetitive. The lowest high, highest low here, like to trade using the 1 minute high or low on a 5 minute. Just trade with the M5 candle color in that case. Wall mall lines. I think you traders know how to trade the wall mall by now. But anyway, the fastest 15 minutes is trading is just about up. So once again, you know, repetitive trading, or good trading is repetitive, and so is bad trading. So if you got something that's not working, look to see what you can filter out. Because remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.